Okay, now we are leaving the world of analog audio and moving into the world of digital audio. But what exactly does that mean, analog versus digital? Because we work in a digital age. Well, first of all, analog, one of the biggest differences rather, is analog is a continuous signal. It starts at point A and continues on a linear path until it loses its energy. It cannot be paused. It is also how we hear. We hear in an analog way. Air molecules vibrating, hitting our eardrums, that's what we hear. And imagine it looking at this picture of rippling waves. It's impossible for you to stick your hand in there and grab one wave. It's just going to keep on rolling past your fingers. You can't stop it. You can't make that wave go backwards. You can't make that wave stop. You can't make that wave go faster without adding more energy to it by creating a new wave. Analog, it just can't be stopped. It's continuous. So if you're really wondering what the biggest difference is between these, analog is a continuous signal. Digital, though, digital recording is about specific bits of information. When you make something digital, it becomes those ones and zeros. It's not continuous. It means that you can stop it, you can start it, you can move it backwards, you can move it forwards. It's random access. That means that if I got a recorded piece of digital information, I can choose to grab it here, I can grab it here, I can grab it there. It's random. I can grab it wherever I want to get it. Another term for this is nonlinear. I can go backwards and forwards in time on this audio wherever I like. I can pause it and I can edit it. Analog audio. Now, you could edit quote unquote analog audio when it's recorded to magnetic tape. You could edit magnetic tape, but not nearly to the extent that you can with digital audio. Digital audio, you have almost limitless controls on what you are able to do, and we'll get more into that as we go along. But analog audio, in the strictest sense, is continuous. It goes on and it's linear. You cannot change the direction that it's going. You cannot pause it, rewind it. It's just what it is. What it is. While digital, it's specific bits that you can work with and deal with. All right. Now, to take something from the analog world and bring it into the digital world, you are going to need an analog audio to digital audio converter. This is actually called an AD converter. Analog to digital. AD converter. So if you want to go from the analog world, as I just said, I'm just repeating myself because this is very important. Analog to digital is an A to D converter. On the flip side of that, if you want to go from digital back to analog, because we don't hear things digitally, we can't plug a computer cord into our brain, at least not yet, you need to convert that digital audio back to analog audio. So you need a digital to analog converter, which is called a DA converter. So to go from analog to digital, you need an AD. To go from digital to analog, you need a DA converter. That's just the terminology you'll have when you get into your future audio courses. A system that can do both conveniently is called an AD-DA converter. So some computers have systems that will do both at the same time. Other systems have dedicated ADs and dedicated DAs. But there are other systems that can do both, and they are called AD-DA converters. Pretty straightforward. Because our ears can only perceive analog audio, we need a system that can do both AD conversion and DA conversion. Because as I said before, our ears are analog receivers. They cannot hear digital, but they hear analog. So you record it digitally, but it comes back out analog. All right. Now, when you're working with systems that have AD converters and DA converters, there are things you want to think of when you're working with them. Essentially, think about it back in terms of mono recording, stereo recording, two-track recording, multi-track recording. Well, if you have a digital recording system, the channels of audio that your system can, this is the key word, simultaneously record is limited to the number of AD converters connected to your system. So if you want to record 24 sources of audio simultaneously, you're going to have a system that has 24 AD converters. Conversely, whatever the number of channels of audio that your system can simultaneously play back is limited to the number of DAs that you have on your system. So if you want to play something back in surround sound, 2 DAs are not going to cut it. You're going to need multiple DAs for the fancy surround sound system. Many systems will have multiple DAs for multi-track recording, but maybe only 2 DAs for playback. That's very common because you may need 6, 10, 8, 20 tracks to record simultaneously, but if you're just going to listen to them with headphones, then you only need 2 DAs for those headphones or for a pair of stereo speakers. For an example, this is an audio recorder that students in our camera classes can check out. It's the Tascam 680. It can record up to 8 channels of audio, so it has 8 AD converters built into it. It's a portable It's a portable digital audio recorder. It can do 8 channels, so it has 8 AD audio to digital converters built into the unit. However, since this is meant to be a field unit, it only uses headphones to listen. So the Tascam 680, even though you may be listening to 8 channels, they are actually being mixed into 2 tracks. And you listen to them with the headphones. So they're only going to be 2 DAs. So you're recording 8 tracks, but the system virtually or digitally mixes them down into 2 tracks that you listen to via your headphones. Therefore, it only needs 2 DAs because what it's doing, remember, it's converting the digital audio to analog audio. To do that, you don't need to have every channel of audio that was recorded independently on those 8 tracks going out to 8 independent tracks as well. The computer is capable of mixing them together, and you don't need a DA for that. That's just software. We'll mix those tracks together and then play them out of those 2 DAs in your headphones for you to be able to hear what's going on. Now, there are systems capable of recording 24 tracks of audio, so they're going to have 24 ADs as well. To listen, and then another side of this, if let's say you have a 5.1 surround sound system in your home for watching movies or whatever, you're actually going to need 6 DAs. You have, generally speaking, you will have 3 front-facing speakers. You'll have 2 rear speakers, the one around here somewhere, and then a subwoofer for those really deep bass. So each of those has their own audio channel built into it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And that gives you your audio. Or you have the 6 DAs built into it. I think I circled the wrong ones here, but that's okay. But how does it work? How do you go from analog to digital and back again? That's going to be the next lecture. Thank you.